Most success stories we hear are all about optimizing your life. This one is about surviving it. We're going to dive into the story of Chris Gardner, the man whose life inspired the pursuit of happiness, and his core lesson is a game changer, that hope isn't some feeling you just wait around for. No, it's a discipline. It's something you practice.
How many times have you heard this little voice in your head? You know the one. When a project gets tough, when a goal just feels miles away, that voice whispers, "Hey, maybe you should just quit." It's such a common thought, but man, it is an incredibly destructive one.
And Chris Gardner's entire life is basically exhibit A for why this idea is a complete and total lie. His story just flips that script completely. It argues that when things are at their absolute hardest, that's not a sign to quit. That's when your character is actually being forged.
So this is the definition of hope we're working with here. It's not just wishful thinking. It's the gritty, stubborn, relentless act of showing up, of doing the work when you're tired, when you're scared, and when you have absolutely zero proof that it's going to lead anywhere good. It's a practice, like a muscle, you have to build every single day. Okay, so to really get this discipline, we've got to go back, way back. Because Chris Gardner's resolve, his grit, it wasn't born in a single moment of crisis. Oh no, it was forged in the fire of his childhood.
His early life? Wow, it was just marked by unbelievable hardship. He saw domestic violence up close. He saw his own mother get unjustly thrown in prison. He felt this constant, crushing sense of powerlessness, all inside a home that was just pure chaos. It was a foundation literally built on pain.
And this, right here, is the crucial distinction. Gardner didn't let that pain become his excuse for failure. Not at all. Instead, he used it to draw a line in the sand. He made a vow, a promise to himself about the man he would never become and the kind of father he was going to be. His pain didn't set his limits, it set his standards. So that internal standard he set for himself, well, in his adult life, it was about to be put to the ultimate test. There came a point where just drifting along wasn't an option anymore, because a new force entered his life that made things like commitment and responsibility absolutely non-negotiable.
And that force was fatherhood. Becoming a dad changed everything for him, but the pressure just mounted incredibly fast. A bad investment trapped him financially, his relationship completely fell apart, and then the bottom just dropped out. He found himself a single father and completely homeless.
I really want you to picture this. This isn't a metaphor, this isn't an exaggeration. He was literally holding a public bathroom door shut with his foot, his toddler son sleeping on his chest, just to get a few hours of safety. This was his actual reality. So how in the world do you get up the next morning and put on a suit? You do it by living this principle. His feelings? Can you imagine the fear, the despair, the humiliation? They were totally irrelevant. The mission was everything. The mission was to show up for his son. And so, he showed up. So, at the absolute lowest point of his life, he somehow lands a super competitive, unpaid internship as a stockbroker. He was basically playing a game he had no business winning. The odds were just completely, ridiculously stacked against him.
Just look at the competition. These other guys, they had college degrees, they had stable homes to go to every night, they had money in the bank, they could focus 100% on the job. Gardner? He had none of that. He wasn't even at the starting line, he was miles behind it.
Okay, so he couldn't out-resource them. No way. So what was the only other option? He had to out-execute them. He became a machine of pure efficiency. He had to learn the material faster than anyone else. He made more cold calls by literally never hanging up the phone between calls. He didn't take coffee breaks. Every single minute was accounted for because every minute was all he had.
And really, it all came down to a choice. The easy path would have been to explain his situation, to look for sympathy, to get a little slack. But he knew that wouldn't get him the job. So he chose the other path, silent execution. He just put his head down and simply outworked everyone.
And that famous quote, it's not just some feel-good line from a movie. For him, it was a survival strategy. He had to build a mental fortress around his own belief because the entire world, all the evidence, was telling him he was going to fail. He had to be his own last line of defense.
Look, Chris Gardner's story is incredible, but we're not just here to admire it. It's a blueprint. So now, let's pivot and make this practical. How can you use this in your own life?
The good news is, you don't have to be facing homelessness to adopt his mindset. We can take his ambition for pure survival and translate it into a strategy for our own goals. So what does this look like for you for 2026? All right, first thing, pick one thing. That's it.
Just one. Could be a business you're starting, a new skill, your health. And you make a simple rule for yourself. No matter what happens, I do the work. Your mood doesn't get a vote. Your energy level doesn't get a say. You just do it. Period. Second, you have to protect your time like it's a fortress. Gardner won because he eliminated all the waste. So try this. Track your time for 1 week. Find the low-value stuff, the mindless scrolling, the pointless meetings, and just cut them. Then build protected blocks of time into your day for deep, focused work.
Number 3, you've got to be strategic. Gardner didn't just work hard. He worked hard on something valuable, becoming a stockbroker. So you need to choose a skill that's scarce, that pays well, that gives you long-term leverage. Then commit to mastering it. You got to chase competence, not comfort.
And finally, number 4, you have to build your mental armor. Seriously, stop consuming the endless complaint loops, the negative news, the victim narratives online. It's poison. Replace it. Read biographies of great people. Focus on learning. Embrace the discipline of actually doing the work. Your mind is your #1 asset. And that brings us all the way back to the title of his story, The Pursuit of Happyness. With that misspelling, it's totally intentional. See, happiness isn't about feeling good all the time. It's about the why. It's about you. It's about the process of you becoming capable, competent, and strong enough to handle whatever life throws at you.
So here's the bottom line, the ultimate takeaway. Luck had nothing to do with this. He won because when any logical, reasonable person would have collapsed, when collapsing was the most sensible choice on the table, he simply refused. He just kept showing up.
So I'm going to leave you with this question. Look ahead to your own goals for this year, your own challenges. What is the one thing that you will decide right now to absolutely refuse to give up on? What's the thing you will show up for no matter what?